Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. I don't have a sweet tooth. Normally I like spicy food, I like savory food, stuff like that. But there are certain things that, let's say, can tempt my palate when it comes to sweet food. And one in particular is the little Portuguese custard tarts, pastel de nata. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, And so I was delighted when just before Christmas, somebody arrived at our house and gave me a box of pastel de nata custard tarts. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I went and after they'd gone, I made myself a cup of coffee. And with great anticipation, I opened up the box and I took out these pastel de natas and I got one, had my coffee all ready. And I went to bite into it, and it was absolutely revolting because, the pastel de nata is in itself a Christmas treat. It's in some countries it's called the pastel de Bethlehem, about Bethlehem. So this thing in itself is a great Christmas treat, but somebody had come up with the idea of making it look like a pastel de nata and actually putting a mince pie inside it. And when I bit into that thing, it was absolutely horrific. Now, listen, mince pies, I can take or leave mince pies. They're eatable, they're edible. It's a Christmas thing. You wouldn't go out of your way to eat them, but if somebody hands you one at Christmas, you'll eat one, fair enough, no problem. But to mix it up with a pastel de nata, this is, I know now people have different tastes and there's opinions and everything else, but this is not just a matter of opinion. This is the food equivalent of a crime against humanity. That somebody could take a piece of food as perfect as a pastel de nata and then absolutely destroy it by putting a mince pie inside of it. I don't know who came up with that idea, but they ought to be prosecuted. Now, that reminded me in the Bible of when Jesus went to a fig tree. And he went to the fig tree because what was quite unusual was the fig tree was in leaf when it was out of season. And so he expected to find figs on it. And he went and there were no figs there. And Jesus cursed the fig tree. It's actually quite a remarkable thing. It's about the only destructive miracle we see Jesus doing. Everything else he did was constructive. He healed, but he actually cursed the fig tree so that it withered and died, because the fig tree was offering false hope. It was building up people's anticipation. It was just like the idea of biting into a pastel de nata, what that was doing to my taste buds. And because it was giving people false hope, Jesus cursed it, so it withered and died. I've often wondered about us as Christians. As Christians, as followers of Jesus, we are supposed to be people of grace and people of love and people of hope. But what if we don't turn out to be like that? What if people come to us expecting to receive something good, a mini version of Jesus Christ, which, that's what a Christian means. When the believers were first called Christians, it was like saying they were little versions, little copies of Jesus. And what about if people come to us knowing we're a Christian and expect to get a little copy of Jesus, and instead they get judgmentalism, they get bitterness, They get all the kind of stuff that they would never encounter in Jesus? Then in a way, we become like the fig tree that offers false promise. We become like the pastel de nata that's really hiding a food abomination inside. And that is not good for the people that come to us, and ultimately not good for us either. I have a desire in my life throughout this year that we've just recently come into. I have a desire to live my life this year for God, and I want to be a what you see is what you get Christian, that I will live for Jesus. And if people come to me expecting to find something of Jesus, that they will find something of his character and his love in my life. And I pray that will be the same for you also. May God bless you today. Join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.